Artificial intelligence (AI) is revolutionizing industries worldwide, from healthcare and finance to law enforcement and surveillance. However, despite its promise of efficiency and neutrality, AI is not immune to the biases ingrained in human societies. One of the most concerning implications of AI-driven technology is its role in racial profiling. Rather than eliminating discrimination, AI-powered systems often reinforce and amplify existing racial injustices. This article explores how AI contributes to racial profiling, the dangers it presents, and potential solutions to mitigate its harmful effects. The intersection of AI and racial bias. AI systems are trained on massive datasets, which are often sourced from historical records, online data, and user-generated content. These datasets reflect societal prejudices, and when AI models process them without appropriate safeguards, they inherit and perpetuate biases. In sectors like law enforcement, hiring, and lending, biased AI systems disproportionately target racial minorities, exacerbating systemic discrimination. One of the most well-documented examples of AI bias is facial recognition technology. Studies by organizations like the MIT Media Lab have shown that facial recognition systems are significantly less accurate when identifying individuals with darker skin tones. This inaccuracy can lead to wrongful arrests, misidentifications, and heightened surveillance of communities of color. AI in law enforcement, a double-edged sword. Law enforcement agencies worldwide have adopted AI-driven tools to enhance crime prevention and policing. Predictive policing, for example, uses AI algorithms to analyze crime data and predict where crimes are likely to occur. While proponents argue that such tools make law enforcement more efficient, critics point out that predictive policing often relies on biased data, reinforcing existing racial disparities in policing. Since AI models are trained on historical crime data, they tend to direct more policing resources to neighborhoods that have been heavily policed in the past, often communities of color. This self-fulfilling cycle means that minorities are disproportionately surveilled, arrested, and incarcerated, further entrenching racial injustice in the criminal justice system. Facial recognition technology presents another major issue. Numerous cases have surfaced where black individuals were wrongfully arrested due to incorrect facial recognition matches. These errors are not isolated incidents, but systemic failures rooted in the racial biases present in the datasets used to train these AI systems. AI in hiring and financial decision-making. Beyond law enforcement, AI bias also manifests in employment and financial services. Many companies use AI-driven hiring tools to screen job applicants. However, studies have shown that these algorithms often favor white candidates over candidates of color, particularly in industries where historical hiring practices have excluded minorities. AI can inadvertently reinforce workplace discrimination by learning from past hiring decisions that favored certain demographics over others. Similarly, AI-driven financial tools determine creditworthiness and loan approvals. Minority applicants often receive lower credit scores or are denied loans due to AI systems trained on biased financial data. Historical redlining practices, in which banks systematically denied loans to people of color, are now being perpetuated by AI models that consider past lending patterns. The dangers of AI-powered surveillance. AI-powered surveillance systems disproportionately monitor communities of color, leading to increased scrutiny and criminalization. In many cities, AI-driven cameras and monitoring tools are deployed in predominantly black and brown neighborhoods, creating a reality where minorities are constantly watched while white neighborhoods receive less scrutiny. This over-surveillance has severe consequences. When AI flags individuals based on racial and behavioral profiling, it often leads to unwarranted police encounters, which can escalate into violent confrontations. The case of China's AI-driven surveillance of Uyghur Muslims highlights the potential for AI to be weaponized against minority groups, leading to widespread human rights abuses. Algorithmic transparency and accountability. One of the biggest challenges in addressing AI-driven racial profiling is a lack of transparency in AI algorithms. Many AI models operate as black boxes, meaning that even the developers do not fully understand how decisions are made. This opacity makes it difficult to detect, challenge, and correct biases embedded in AI systems. To combat this, policymakers and technologists must advocate for algorithmic transparency. AI developers should be required to disclose how their models are trained, what data is used, and how biases are mitigated. Furthermore, independent audits should be conducted to assess the fairness of AI-driven decision-making systems. Solutions to combat AI-driven racial profiling. While the problems posed by AI bias are significant, they are not insurmountable. Several strategies can be implemented to reduce racial profiling in AI systems. Diverse and representative datasets. AI models should be trained on diverse datasets that accurately reflect different racial and ethnic groups. This ensures that AI does not disproportionately favor one demographic over another. Bias detection and correction. AI algorithms should be regularly audited for bias, and corrective measures should be taken when racial disparities are detected. Human oversight. AI should complement human decision-making rather than replace it entirely. Human oversight is necessary to ensure that AI-driven decisions are fair and just. Policy and regulation. Governments must implement laws that regulate AI in high-stakes areas like law enforcement, hiring, and finance. Strict guidelines should be in place to prevent racial profiling and discrimination. Community involvement. Minority communities should have a say in how AI is developed and deployed, ensuring that their voices are heard and their rights are protected. Conclusion. AI has the potential to be a powerful force for good, but when left unchecked, it can reinforce and deepen racial injustices. From predictive policing and facial recognition to hiring and financial decisions, AI-driven racial profiling is a growing concern that must be addressed. By prioritizing transparency, fairness, and ethical AI development, we can work toward a future where technology serves all communities equitably rather than perpetuating discrimination. The rise of AI should not mean the rise of injustice. It is up to policymakers, technologists, and society as a whole to ensure that AI is used as a tool for equality rather than oppression. Only through collective effort can we dismantle the biases embedded in AI and create a fairer, more just world.